I got to ask you the tough question for me. When I hear that you did not get support from the Republican establishment, I can't say I'm surprised. It's the establishment, but they're not giving you the support. Meanwhile, the Democrats are giving all of their support to Mark Kelly. That plays a role in your defeat, does it not?
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge.
So my question then is, when they say we got to get Kevin McCarthy to Speaker of the House, and, you know, look, I got to miss, I'm not a Republican, not a big fan of the Republican Party. More like, honestly, left libertarian, but I feel like the modern left is a weird cult. So I'm looking for whatever I can get, tends to be more so libertarian or Republican. Then they come out, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I like, says support Kevin McCarthy. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not in Congress. I know they're going to vote on it, but I'll tell you this, I actively oppose these people maintaining their positions as Republican leadership. When you look as your campaign as the best example, they could have done more. At the very least, they could have done anything to support you. They don't. In my opinion, I think they actively are working against candidates like you and others. And then they think I'm going to walk up as someone who's never been a traditional Republican and throw my weight behind establishment candidates for their. No, I'd rather look. Simply put, if Hakeem Jeffries wins as Speaker of the House, because, you know, a lot of the Republicans in the House, the Freedom Caucus or otherwise, don't want to support the establishment, I don't care. I view it as all very much the same. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's where I'm at.
I care. I think Hakeem would be way worse than McCarthy, but I think we need new leadership.
I agree.
I think both those are true. I understand where you're coming from.
I do think he'd be worse, but I just kind of feel like unless there's a reckoning for the Republican establishment and there's a clean, you know what, fine. Let Hakeem Jeffries be Speaker if it means the current iteration of the GOP establishment disappears or is gutted. And then there's a backlash among the donors and everybody says this was a huge mistake. Right now, the problem is they're saying the mistake is to support you. The mistake was to support Carrie Lake, when it's actually the inverse. The mistake is to support people like McCarthy. And if we all do, it'll be the same garbage all over again. 2024 will come around. They'll flub everything. If Hakeem Jeffries does win, because a lot of people like me just say, I don't care about those people, maybe then the donor class, maybe then a lot of the, a lot more establishment Republicans might be like, okay, we were gutted and we don't exist, as a reckoning for their failures.
Look, I want the reckoning too, but it might not happen, right? Maybe Hakeem becomes Speaker and then the establishment in the GOP side doesn't fade away. And then you have the worst of all worlds, right? And so it's the age-old thing in politics. What's the lesser of two evils? Or if you do that, don't you just get evil?
But that's the situation, the lesser of two evils. That brought us into our current political landscape where we have a duopoly. We have one party, not two parties, that are essentially ruling together on a lot of the same issues that don't represent the people. The populist movement, the people that used to represent the people were people like Bernie Sanders, were people like Donald Trump, and they have foregone a lot of their policies that would have helped people. Donald Trump right now is endorsing McCarthy. I think that's absolutely crazy that he's doing so, especially with what happened with the elections recently. How do you rectify all of this? And for you, what would be the solution here? How can we move forward in a way that's more concise, in a way that's actually more reasonable, in a way that actually does represent and help solve some of the people's problems?
I mean, I think my best answer is to just stay in the fight. I don't know whether that means, run for Senate again or run for Congress or figure out a different way to be involved. But I don't have a one sentence answer. We just have to keep at it. A lot of people in Arizona after the election was certified said, well, we should have just run boring, safe Republicans instead of Blake and instead of Kerry. And it's like, well,
I got to tell you,
that wouldn't work. But even if they would have won, it's like, boring and safe Republicans is sort of what's delivered us to this moment today. And the public is very disenchanted with that politics as usual, the uniparty. It doesn't work. And so we have to figure out a way forward. I think that way forward is this kind of somewhat populist America first, policy platform. We just have to figure out a way to articulate it that is going to win us elections.
We had Milo Yiannopoulos on the show just after the midterm. And he explained to us Trump supporters wanted revenge. The reason why they were upset, even though they did win, winning the House, it's because they want revenge. They want to feel that there's hope. They want to see a decisive victory. I'm going to be completely honest with you as to how I feel right now. When, Marjorie Taylor Greene put out that Twitter thread supporting Kevin McCarthy for Speaker, she made a lot of really, really excellent points that were very convincing to me. That Kevin McCarthy's made some promises, that there's going to be investigations. They're going to look into the southern border. They're going to look into the Twitter files. He actually came out in opposition to the omnibus, things that are all really, really great. But while I can reconcile that logically in my mind, I think long term, I don't trust this man. I don't trust the establishment. I believe they backstabbed the America First candidates. And, you know, I got to be completely honest. I kind of want emotional satisfaction. I want revenge. That doesn't mean I'm willing to give in to illogical thought processes. I understand your point on, hey, Kevin McCarthy's, he's offering us this stuff. It's better than Hakeem Jeffries. But part of me is just like, no, I think at the very least, there needs to be some kind of effort among whatever this faction is of more libertarian-minded individuals, that they cannot play this game anymore. So you know what? If that means Hakeem Jeffries gets Speaker of the House, honestly, I don't care. I don't. I'm so sick and tired of it going on, man. Since I got into politics, watching lie after lie, failure after failure. I certainly understand how Luke's feeling with like, just get rid of the government, just wash it all away. I'm at the point where it's like, well, you know, maybe Luke's right, but I'll let the establishment lose what little opportunity they had for some power. And then we can all laugh in Kevin McCarthy's face and the Republican establishment. And then we can laugh McConnell out of office and say, you know what, we may not have gotten the power we want, but we weren't going to get it anyway. Maybe this is just the reckoning they need. And then they need us. And I'll tell you, I feel really angry because I feel like they really need me. I am not a Republican. I don't like Republicans, but I ended up voting Republican in in the past. I ended up supporting a lot of Republicans, not just voting, putting out, having shows. And then all they do is that I feel like they backstab people like you. They backstab people like Carrie Lake. The media lies about what they're doing. And I'm like, fine. I want them now to lose. Yeah. They do not deserve power.
If the Republicans would stand up to Democrats like they stand up against their fellow Republicans, the political landscape would be totally different and they would be at odds. But at the end of the day, that's not what's happening here. So how do we rectify this? How do we fix this?
What do you think about voting online in addition to current laws with like a blockchain reference as backup?
In theory, it works. In practice, terrifies me, right? No, I want as little technology involved as voting as possible. I think it's crazy that we have, you know, tabulation machines where the code is closed source. Like, you can't actually tell what's going on, right? Like, if you have it, it should be open source, but maybe you don't even need it at all, right? Like, why not get back to precinct level voting? The only technology that I really want is high definition video cameras trained on manual hands, you know, reporting ballots and results at the precinct level. Do you think upload that video online and let the internet have at it, right? Like, we want more transparency and less sort of closed source technology.
Are you concerned about like an open internet voting is because it could get hacked?
I just think you probably can't get there all at once, and the intermediate steps would be extremely insecure.
Ian's for microchip voting, by the way.
I prefer graphene
just to clear the record here.
Let's be clear.
There you go. That works as well. But I wanted to ask you, is it time for a new party? Because it does seem like the larger populist ideas, standing up for the American people, standing up for the American middle class, standing up against the people who committed the Jeffrey Epstein saga, there's a huge portion of those people on the left and right. There's also a huge portion of people that don't vote in the United States. Is it time to move away and have a political realignment here? Is that possible? A lot of people are saying that this could possibly happen on the Democratic side. A lot of people are saying this could happen on the Republican side. Is that feasible from your expertise in politics?
Is it feasible? No. Is it time for it? Yes, I'd say it's long past time for it. Right? We were never supposed to have this two-party system. It's like literally not the government that our framers ever set up or really envisioned. I guess they did envision it. They feared it, and they warned us about it. But I think the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are probably too established to change it. And maybe it changes over time, but
and it definitely seems like there's a civil war within the Republican Party, with old rhinos and the anti-establishment. But then there looks like there might be another civil war within just the anti-establishment alone, with DeSantis versus Donald Trump, with Donald Trump attacking DeSantis recently. So it's like a civil war within a civil war. This doesn't look good and doesn't look promising, especially with the Republicans not having a lot of institutional power to change anything when it comes to ballot harvesting, when it comes to mail-in ballots. For me personally, this is my assessment. I don't know if you think I'm too pessimistic or too black-pilled here, but I don't see the Republicans winning anytime soon in many years to come.
I'd say the saving grace is the Democrats really are that bad, and they're horrible. They're going to get worse. And so if I don't know, maybe I think we can do it by 2024. We certainly have a lot of work to do. I still think the Republican Party is the right vehicle. If you care about peace, if you care about prosperity and individual freedom and all the things we care about, I do think the Republican Party is the vehicle to salvage. Yeah. It's the most popular possible potential. Otherwise, you got to create something new, and how much capital would that take?
I don't think there's a way into political power at least right now or in the immediate future, unless you're going through the Democrats or the
I
Republicans.
disagree. I think the internet video is super powerful because right now, if we ask people that subscribe to Timcast.com, for instance, to vote for you or to fund you in a campaign, you'd get massive worldwide publicity and money.
I think that if I were to run for office and did a show where to my audience I said, vote for me, I would get substantially less votes than you think. Because a lot of people might like watching the show or might like me personally, but they're going to say, oh, but come on, he's not going to win. And then what, I'd rather vote for someone who's got a better chance. So I can,
and Ian, who dominates the online space, right? Who dominates TikTok?
Do, Luke.
Who dominates Facebook? Right? Who dominates
FBI.
The people that own them.
The FBI. And who's the FBI backing right now at this particular time? The Democrats.
But I'm piggybacking
the leftists and also the establishment candidates. So whoever plays ball in Washington, D.C. gets an unfair advantage on big tech social media. That's a reckoning that we can't underestimate because it has a huge effect on what America thinks, not just on how they vote. So until there's a larger reckoning here, I mean, Twitter is one social media that Elon Musk is putting everything behind, risking everything, essentially exposing the deep state for all the horrible things that they've been doing, but that's one element of it. Will we have even congressional hearings that lead up to anything because of this? Well, I hope so.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.